Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Doctor Who, and this is one of the reasons why I set up this channel, is because I love Doctor Who. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, have been since the days of Tom Baker, which is my doctor. A lot of people have a doctor when they grew up. Mine was Tom Baker, as a lot of people's were, and I just really enjoy talking about it. So I thought this is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this channel, was to start talking about Doctor Who. And I did see The Power of the Doctor the other day, and it took me a couple of days to think about it and to digest it, and then I thought that I would do a review. And of course I want your opinions as well, so if you liked the show or if you didn't like it, if there was anything particularly you wanted to talk about, or if you think that the ending was as I think it's going to be, or I thought it was going to be, then let me know down in the comments section. And also don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for more Doctor Who news as well as other news as well. So I'm going to get into it now. Obviously, you don't know, but I was never really a huge fan of the Jody Whitaker era. Nothing to do with her as a person. I have no issues with her as a person, no issues with her as a female doctor. I think that, there are some people that say it's not canon. I think that there are certain situations where you can probably say it could happen, and it's not one of those things where the original source material said it necessarily wouldn't happen. But I think that in general, I don't think her tenure was very good. Part of it was writing. The writing in some cases was horrendous. Part of it was the fact that I don't think she has the acting range needed for the Doctor. You have to be able to be extremely serious. Sometimes you have to be angry. Sometimes you have to be funny. Sometimes you have to be sarcastic. And all of those things, need to be sometimes in one scene. You have to have an actor that can produce all of those things in one scene. And I don't think Jodie Whittaker quite had that. Nothing against her acting ability in general. I just think she wasn't quite right for the Doctor. But having said that, I did watch all of her episodes, and as a die-hard Doctor Who fan, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to be the type of person that won't watch them because I disagree with them. I'm still going to watch them. And so I felt that the Power of Daleks, not Power of Doctor, Power of the Doctor even, I thought it actually had some very good points in it. I think the idea of the Master being Rasputin was quite a good idea. I quite enjoyed that. Bit puzzled by the old Rah Rah Rasputin disco bit, but anyway, it was. I think I loved the way the Master was portrayed in this. I think he's a great actor, and I think that he really does bring a kind of maniacal laugh. Along with a bit of seriousness. The old Masters were very serious and didn't quite have the kind of, shall we say, craziness, manicness that the Master has now. But I think he portrayed that in quite a good way. I also enjoyed the forced regeneration. I think that was a good concept. I thought that was actually not badly done. I was a little bit concerned about how the Doctor regenerated at the end, the final time when she actually regenerated. Bit concerned about that because, and there are spoilers in this. Obviously, I've already said that there, but there are spoilers in this. I'll put spoilers on the trailer as well. The problem with me, and I realise why they did it, because if you have the Doctor, being forced to regenerate into the Master, or into the Master's form, and then being ungenerated or reversing the forced generation to take her back to the original Doctor. Some would say that's a bit easy. That's a bit too simple in terms of then she has to regenerate for whatever reason because she's not regenerated properly or because it upset her DNA and so she has to regenerate. I thought that would have been quite a good way to do it. You could have had her recover, but then have the hand glowing every so often or something like that, something to suggest the Doctor that something wasn't right, or something could have happened along the way from that time she was reversed to the end where she eventually regenerated. But they didn't do that. They had her being absolutely fine, and then she gets hit by this power symbiont thing that's controlling the planet that the TARDIS is on. She gets hit by the beam of energy, and that makes her regenerate. And I thought that was not necessarily a step they needed to take. They could have just taken it from the regeneration and had her eventually regenerating for other reasons. I thought, well, that would have been a better way to do it. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments whether you think that was a good idea or not. There were lots of good things in here, but for me there was too many things. You had the whole issue with the renegade Dalek wanting to talk to the Doctor because he doesn't feel that the Daleks are true to their original nature and stuff like this. That was a very good concept, but I don't think it needed to be in this episode. I think you could have had a standalone episode just for that. You could have had a standalone episode just for the forced regeneration part. And I felt that there were too many. He was trying to cram too many things into this. You know, he obviously wanted to get in all of the characters that he had dealt with as his time as showrunner, but it meant that you had, the other female Doctor only had a bit part. You know, she literally just turned up, said a couple of lines, and then disappeared. No real adding her to the mix at all. I loved the old Doctors coming back, the classic Doctors. I loved seeing Sylvester McCoy and Paul McGann and Colin Baker, and it was great to see them all. It was nice to see, especially Colin Baker, who I haven't, he hasn't come back at all, and I think it was good to see him come back. It was good to see Paul McGann, confirming that he is canon once again, if there was any doubt. And I think that was a good part, where she was talking to her previous selves and going through the situation and the previous selves trying to help her out. I thought that was very good. So in many ways, I thought there were a lot of good elements to this series, this particular special, but I think there was too many things. And by the end of it, she had too much to do. She had too much to fix in a very short space of time, and I felt that it just felt a bit rushed. It felt a little bit, some things that she tried to fix, like the volcano thing, it was fixed very quickly, very conveniently fixed. It didn't seem to be, a very thorough, thought out plan towards the end. I think it was almost like Chris Chibnall put all these things into the mix and then thought, actually, I've got 4 or 5 things I need to clear up here. Let me just run through those and get those cleared up. It seemed too quickly and too rushed for me. But I thought it was quite good for her final episode. I thought it worked out quite well. I loved the regeneration sequence, which is on the cliff with the TARDIS behind her. I really enjoyed that. I deliberately didn't look at any of the spoilers. I know there was a rumor about David Tennant, but I deliberately didn't look at the spoilers. And so when she regenerated back into David Tennant, I was shocked. But at the same time, I kind of, after I thought about it a little bit, I kind of understood why. And I'm going to do a separate video as to why I think they regenerated, or Jodie Whittaker regenerated back into David Tennant. I've got a theory about that, and I'm going to be doing it in a separate episode. So if you want to hear that, don't forget to subscribe. And I'd also love to hear your theories about that as well, about why you think he came back, why Russell T Davies came back. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. That's also going to be in this other episode, as to why they both decided to come back for this particular reason. So if you have any comments or questions about that, don't forget to leave them down below as well. So overall, I thought it was okay. It was probably one of the better Jodie Whittaker episodes for me, but it was a bit too much in one go. Too much going on. Too much quick changing from one thing and another and all that kind of stuff. I loved the meeting at the end when Graham had all the previous, or a lot of the previous companions there. Really enjoyed that. Loved seeing that. I thought that was a very nice little touch, and it'd be nice actually if them put that in a little bits again. If Graham has another meeting and different companions are there, or that would be quite a good little thing to add on, come back to throughout the coming episodes and whatever. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the power of the Doctor. I'd love to hear yours, as I said before, and until the next time, I will see you then.